Hello, it's Helen from Ethnic Awareness Review with this week's tarot card reading for the week of the 21st to the 27th of September. So this week I'm using the Steampunk Tarot deck. So let's start off at the beginning of the week with the Monday and Tuesday and see what themes or energy is surrounding us for this week. So we start off with the Five of Swords. So the fives are, they can bring it, the five is the card of opportunity for change and growth. And the Five of Swords is not particularly an easy card. You may feel as if you are kind of in some conflict or in, a bit of a battle with somebody. It certainly can also be you're having a bit of a battle within yourself. So this is, the card of, particularly watching your thoughts and also the way you communicate and speak to people. So it is generally a card of conflict, but usually the conflict will bring in some change. So you might certainly be in fighting with yourself or having words or being in conflict with people around you. And as you can see in this card, this man looks as though he's in a bit of strife with two other people there. So, but it does bring in opportunities, and it does bring in opportunities for change and growth. Because remember, five is the middle, five is the turning point. So you are at a turning point, either in a thought process or an attitude or a habit or even a situation. And the five usually does give you and bring you clarity, but you do have to kind of go in that process, which is uncomfortable. It can be difficult, and it can take up a lot of energy too. So the thing that is standing out on this card are the three swords at the back here, which are obviously being put into that card, and two other people are holding the swords. So at some point you have got clear on something, or you will get very clear on something, and you can lay that to rest. Because when I looked at that, it was like that sense of, well, you're quite clear on this because you've put them in the cart and they're in the resting place. So you might just have one or two other things you need to kind of work out. That might be one or two other conversations or one or two things that you actually have to look at. So to help you get clarity and to clear things up. So just watch your thoughts, watch how you communicate with people as well. But on an internal process, it can be quite an uncomfortable time, particularly if you are sort of having fights with yourself and the way you are thinking about things. And a good thing to help you with that is if that is the case, do one thing at a time. Get clear on one thing, sort that out, then start on the other one. So a bit of conflict, either internally or externally. So, but take it slow, and when you speak, be clear and speak slowly if it is in regards to other people. So that's the Five of Swords. That's your Monday, Tuesday energy there. So we might leave that card and just see what the Wednesday, Thursday card is going to bring us. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay. So Five of Pentacles, there again, we're working with the number 5. Opportunities for change and growth are coming to us, but fives are uncomfortable. Okay. And in both of these cards, there's not just a single person. There's 3 people in the first card and 2 people in the second card. So it certainly may be a week where you're dealing with other people or you have a lot to do with other people. Not so much a solitary week so far. And the 5 of coins, there again, that can be about your money, can be about your work. It is about the body, it is about the physical realm. So, and the 5 of Pentacles is that card of, you're feeling in lack. So you may certainly feel in lack, you may not feel particularly secure with your money or your work. Things may be changing because the 5s are certainly the card of change. So you may find Wednesday and Thursday that you are going through a bit of a change. You may not feel on top of the world. It is a card, as you can see in this card, she's outside in the cold. She's got her little one there and she's, moving, from one place to another place. So what I think it is about change, and it's about, and it can be taking place just on the everyday issues that are surrounding us, because we have got 2 number 5s there. So, and with the 5 of Swords, it can feel like it's a bit hectic. All you may want to do is actually have peace, but you may not actually get it because there's a lot to do, and the energy can be quite high. So we might see what the card is for us as we come to the end of the week here. Okay, so then we have the King of Cups. Okay, so the King of Cups is at the end of the week. So that's a court card. So the Cups is about your emotions, feeling emotionally secure, and feeling, you know, quite confident emotionally and getting back on top of things. So even though this may be a challenging week, I'm going to use the King of Cups as an indicator of you getting back on top of things, feeling emotionally secure and okay again. Because the other two cards are indicating that perhaps you don't feel this at this point in time. You may be worried about money. You might also be worried about your career too. So, but it's in the middle of the change, and things can be a little bit chaotic, particularly with the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. But the King of Cups, as we come to the end of the week, you know, is saying that you overcome these feelings. You do get back on top, because you remember the King is about, he's the authority figure. He also is telling us that you have mastered something. You've worked through some issues, or you've worked through some stuff. And, you know, when you look at him, he's inside, he's got his cigar, and he's, you know, he's secure, he's well dressed, he's happy, he's got his wine or his port in his hand. So you will achieve something this week. You will feel somewhat successful in the process that happens for you this week. So keep that in mind as you come to the end of the week. You will feel better. You'll feel as if you are on top of things. You've mastered something, and perhaps even you may be able to just kind of enjoy yourself as you come to the end of the week too. So from Monday to Thursday, you know, it may just be a little bit rough. So watch your thoughts. I would like to say something else about the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is that card of sometimes, you know, feeling as if you are kind of going it alone. You are on that journey of, you know, you've taken some steps and now you're actually on that journey. So you've made some decisions or made some choices, and you're right in the middle of that place of, oh, you know, I've made that choice and now I'm actually kind of living it. The Five of Pentacles is very much that card. You know, it can sometimes be, you know, you leave the Four of Pentacles of safety and security because you know, you need to move on. You might have been getting stuck there, or you might have been finding that you were really struggling there. You might have been quite stagnant in that place. And now you've made the decision to kind of move on, which is what the Five is actually saying. But it's uncomfortable because you're in a new zone, you're in a new area, you don't really know what the next stage is actually going to be. So this sort of says to me that we may feel as if we're in a bit of an upheaval this week. So that's why it's important to kind of watch our thoughts, get very clear on what we want and where we want to go, okay? But as we come to the end of the week, the King is saying that you will master something. You are going to be okay. So that is the King of Cups. Is he's, you know, he's letting you also know that you are going to be okay. You know, you are going to feel a lot better. This is the process of growth. This is the process of change. And this is about where opportunities actually come to you, because I get a feeling when I look at this, it's kind of like you've ruffled things up. You've shaken, you know, you've mixed it up a little bit or shaken it around, and now you've caused the chaos or the confusion, and now you're right in it, and now then you're moving on as we come to the weekend. So you may get a lot clearer about things with the King of Cups coming along as well, and he's quite confident. So the trick is to remain confident and know as you come to the end of the week you will have mastered something and you will have achieved something. But it will take watching your thoughts, being aware of how you're feeling as well, and also to look after yourself, particularly with, you know, maybe look after your health. Try not to worry about money or circumstances so much. Know that this is just a change, and all change is uncomfortable for us. So, and it is a big week in the skies as well. Astrologically, there's a lot going on this week as well. So these cards, I guess, aren't too bad considering that we are in the middle of two eclipses, and we're going to wrap that up at the end of the week. The sun does change sign. You know, Mars also moves into another sign, and we are in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. So it's not easy. So I encourage you to work with the King of Cups. Look at how confident he is. He's feeling good about himself, and he has mastered something, and he is the authority of his life, and certainly his emotions. So perhaps now it's time for you to get really clear about what it is that you actually want and what you're actually seeking, and know that it may be a little bit uncomfortable, the process that you actually have to go through. So I'm going to wrap that up now because I've talked a bit. So thank you so much for watching and your likes and your comments. And if you are seeking a reading from me, please go to my Facebook page and email me, or you can click on the Book Me button and that will take you to a web page which has got a list of readings I do and prices. So thank you so much for watching, and please take care of yourself this week, and I shall talk to you next week.